You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, spending some time here on the show, and taking part of your day and spending with us means the world to us. It means the world when you call the hotline also, 813-917-1894. Anything you need out there, we can put you in touch with our expert contributors, 50 different show partners, 80 categories of consumer advocate content and advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We always like to help you win in any marketplace. And we'd like to feature our real estate listings on the program. Martin Gramatica in studio. Before we do, I want to let you know about a hot listing here. 16400 Gulf Boulevard, North Reddington. This is on the beach. Great getaway. Beautiful little condo unit here. 400 square feet, oceanfront property. Check out that beautiful photography. Compliments of Fabre Frameworks. You're overlooking the pool and the beach. 16400 Gulf Boulevard, North Reddington. And 400 square foot oceanfront property right on the Gulf of Mexico with a beautiful balcony and a great opportunity to own real estate here in Tampa Bay. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, Martin Gramatica, welcome back, sir.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for coming in. And we're going to talk about lifeguard imaging coming up here in a minute. I want to touch on your reaction to the World Cup.
Well, I'm glued to the TV. I'm watching every game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the U.S. lost to the Netherlands, but we could revenge that with Argentina. Because obviously I want Argentina and Messi to win it. So
there you go.
So we play Friday. So we'll take care of those guys.
Nice. That's awesome. Very cool, man. Why there's a lot of talk on some of the TV spots I'm looking at. Why are we not as competitive as the United States? You'd think we'd be more competitive.
Well, the first thing is our best athletes aren't playing soccer.
Right.
They're playing the NBA, they're playing the NFL. So
right.
Once we get a superstar like that, that's a phenomenal athlete to start playing soccer, that'll help. But we are doing a lot better where we have kids in Europe playing. My biggest thing is the coaching. I was kind of disappointed, and the American fans happy that we made it to the next round.
Yep.
But I like to go out swinging.
Yeah.
This team. And the way they were coached, we sat back and made sure we didn't lose. Against England, the last play of the game defined the mentality of this coach. When the game's 0-0, there's literally 5 seconds left. And instead of kicking the ball in the box to try to get a goal to win it, they play a short ball just to run out the clock.
Right.
It's like taking a knee on a tie.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Who does that?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not our American mentality in sports. Nobody likes ties.
Yeah.
So just because you can tie in soccer doesn't mean you play for a tie. So I would have liked to been more aggressive.
Been more aggressive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people would resonate with that. All right, let's jump into the lifeguard imaging. So lifeguard imaging, you are VP over there. You're helping with the marketing side, and you're saving lives through early detection.
Yes, Brandon. We're scanning, an average of 15 to 20 patients a day, and 1 to 3 lives are being saved daily with either a high calcium score and a heart disease or cancer. We're doing preventative scans. So our patients come in, and I would say 99.9% of our patients don't have any symptoms. They just come in because they want to be proactive, and we find something, discover something that they don't know is there. And until you look inside, you just don't know. And some of the patients are even being seen by doctors. And we have the best medicine in the world, but until you look inside, so it's not that we're competing against a doctor or trying to make the doctors look bad. It's just something that with technology, just like technology is being used in sports, that's why we have instant replay, because referees are human, doctors are human as well. So now we can see inside and assist the doctors on treating patients. And when we discover cancer at the earliest stage, you can treat it with good quality of life, and also with heart disease. And as you know, you've had your issues with your heart, Brandon. If you have a blockage and we catch it early, you can survive it.
Yeah.
A heart attack, not too many people are lucky enough, like you were, to survive a heart attack. So that's why we encourage your listeners, obviously, to come in. We're offering a free heart scan for any of your listeners to come in. And then we'll explain the whole legacy program in full body when they come in. But for now, we can give them absolutely 100% a free heart scan.
Free heart scan for your folks out there, if you're listening out there. And it saves lives every day, every week, like he said. 813-582 5222, 813-582-5222, and just let them know the Real Estate Quarterback Consumer Quarterback Show. You heard them here. And yeah, so you also have the lung scans. I mean, there's a lot of cancers that develop in there. Basically, you're doing a scan of the midsection of the body, and that's where, what is it, like 90% of the different diseases and ailments come from.
Absolutely, but it's basically from the shoulders to the pelvis. So 90% of the cancers do develop in our mid region, and we're also going to find other things. Hernias. We can find kidney stones, things that aren't deadly, but sometimes patients don't know they're there. We found esophagus hernias as well, where you have the acid reflux, and patients may not know why. I just met with a patient today that said, "Man, you guys found it. Now I can treat it." He thought he was just eating bad or eating spicy foods that were affecting him. They were affecting him because he did have a hernia.
Wow.
So we can find things that aren't deadly as well that could improve your quality of life.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I want to talk about your virtual colonoscopy here as well, because I was talking to somebody about it the other day, and they said, yeah, the whole colonoscopy industry as a whole is, I don't want to say scam, but it was something along those lines, to where it was like there's so many things that can go bad with an actual colonoscopy, where they're inserting a camera in there, and of course it's on like a, what do you call it, like a snake type of thing? Yes,
it's a 6-foot probe that they're going to insert, and it's something that we must have, a colonoscopy, but it is dangerous, like you said. At times the colon wall has been punctured, and patients have died from the procedure that's supposed to save their lives.
Wow.
So
sounds like a COVID shot.
With our virtual colonoscopy, now the insertion is 2.5 inches. It's literally the size of a pen, a little bit larger than a pen.
Yep.
We're going to pump air in your colon and then run through the scanner. The benefit of it is, first of all, the prep is minimal.
Yep.
You don't have to have that gigantic, Gatorade tasting. And I haven't done it, but most patients that I've talked to, or people that I've talked to that have had the conventional one, they hate the prep, and that's what's kept me from having one.
Yep.
No anesthesia, so you can go back to work right after it's done. I mean, there's no anesthetics that'll make you drowsy all day. And then now the benefit of the virtual colonoscopy is we see the inner and outer colon. So there's patients that have passed away from colon cancer after having a clean colonoscopy because the cancer was on the outer wall.
Yeah.
And then it seeps in between colonoscopies. So here we see everything. And now if we were to find a polyp, now they can go in and just go to the exact spot, get it out, instead of having to search and have that camera all over the place. They'll know exactly where that spot is, biopsy, and it's a lot less invasive.
Wow, you said 6-foot camera?
It is, yes.
Wow, wow, that's amazing.
It's a mechanism with a camera, but it's 6 feet, because they have to go in and out, throughout the whole colon.
Yeah, because that colon just winds
and
winds.
Yeah. And that's where at times, on the bends is where it gets caught, and
Right.
at times it has punctured the wall of the colon.
Right. Martin Gramatica here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We're talking about your health. We're talking about saving lives through early detection, preventative scans from Lifeguard Imaging. Martin is a VP of Business Development there. And they got a great location, by the way, super location right there at the Courtney Campbell Causeway, Rocky Point area. Great location. I love that location for businesses. And, I've got a family member of mine, a friend that has stomach issues, like constantly just repeating stomach issues. Have you heard or seen anything on stomachs?
Oh, absolutely. This is why I became a patient of Lifeguard First. I was having stomach issues. I've had stomach problems, playing. They give you, the anti-inflammatories, the pills. They can pretty much treat anything with a pill, and it kind of tore my stomach up throughout college and then playing in the pros. So I've always had stomach issues, but I was having some different issues that I've never had before, and I was concerned about it, and I heard the ad on the radio, so that's what led me to Lifeguard.
Yep.
Fortunately for me, it was nothing major, and I was able to treat it with some medicine, but it wasn't like anything deadly. But at one point I was scared. I was like, man, something's going on that's not right. So we see a 3D image of every organ from the shoulders down to the pelvis. So absolutely, if they have stomach issues, if there's anything going on, our scanner will catch it.
Yeah, because I just say, hey, well, I've heard eating melon is good for the belly, good for the stomach. They had some issues and were actually hospitalized from it. But that's interesting stuff, man. So, what else do you see out there when it comes to this preventative medicine? I think that's a key part. Are insurance companies kind of getting in tune with this yet, or is this kind of out of pocket thing? Some of it.
Yeah, so we like I said, we're offering the free heart scan for your listeners, and when they come in, they're going to meet with a patient advocate that's going to show them and explain to them the full body scan.
Okay.
When they elect, or if they elect to enroll in our program, then they'll get a full body scan at the first visit. So you convert your free heart scan into a full body scan.
Okay.
And that's where we set the baseline. When we set a baseline, now we know exactly what that patient's body is inside. And then from there, we scan our patients yearly. So if anything were to change from year to year, we catch it. For example, I've already had my second scan, and my spine, my vertebrae has deteriorated 5%, which is not a deadly, there's nothing. But if we see something, our radiologist will note it, that from year to year that has changed. In my case now, I can be proactive with my back, trying to do more exercise, more core stuff, stretching, chiropractor. Because 5%, it's a lot in a year.
That is.
In a few years, I won't have a back left if it keeps that rate.
Yeah.
So now I can slow that down.
Wow.
Just like when we find, calcium score or heart disease, if the patient doesn't need a stent, now they can manage it and understand that, okay, I have a score, I can eat better, I can exercise more, and then by scanning them yearly, the next year we can scan them, see if they stayed the same, went down, or could even go higher. So now you can be proactive with that as well. So we're seeing a lot of things, man. We've seen, we have a patient from the DC area that came down to scan. We found kidney cancer. He's a doctor in DC, got a scan a year ago for kidney stones because he felt like he was having kidney stones, and they missed the cancer because it was at 1 centimeter a year ago. He's a friends with one of our owners, came down, he was vacationing in Sarasota, came to scan. He's like, I think I have kidney stones again. We scan him, find the kidney stones, but also found a shadow that's 2 millimeters.
Wow.
So that means a year ago, it had to have been about 1 millimeter.
Right.
The normal scanners at hospitals have thicker slices in order to have less radiation. With our scanner, we have a low radiation software where we can have our slices be, basically interlock. There's no slice. They're so thin, and we have the software to reduce the radiation so we can see and capture more than the conventional scanner, the way they're set up.
That's awesome.
So not only were we able to see that he had kidney stones, we caught it at 2 millimeters, and the kidney cancer, that type of cancer, would have spread at 3 millimeters.
Wow.
So luckily we caught it early enough where, he's having procedures done, and thank God it didn't spread.
Yeah, awesome. Wow. Interesting. All right, Martin Gramatica coming up here. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, I want to ask him a little about the Bucks, see what his thoughts are on the Bucks. You do the Spanish broadcasting of that as well, and the Buccaneers. And you're a busy guy. You're coaching the Tampa Bay Strikers as well, so you got tryouts going on for that, and more about lifeguard imaging coming up. Plus, feel-good story of the day. Woman hands out hundreds of stuffed animals to seniors in need of Christmas cheer. We'll be right back. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We always like to tell you something good.
Tell me something good.
All right, so every holiday season in Philadelphia since 2009, Patricia Gallagher gives stuffed animals to seniors who are in need of some Christmas cheer. She says, I just got this idea in my head to call 2 nursing homes at random and ask if my mother and I could come read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. She also came up with the idea to bring along some stuffed animals that had belonged to her children so the seniors could hold them while she read. When she went to gather them up to take them with her to the nursing home, nobody wanted to give up their teddy bear. On that day, Patricia saw the power of a simple Christmas gift, and to continue her tradition, she put an ad on Craigslist asking for gently used stuffed animals. In her first 2 years of collecting, she received more than 11,000 stuffed animals. She said some of the local schools and churches even hold stuffed animal collections on her behalf. She takes all of the donated stuffed animals to senior living facilities, veterans' homes, and homes for retired nuns. There you have it, our feel-good story of the day. I always like those segments. And we've got Martin Gramatica in studio. Lifeguard Imaging is the company, former Buccaneer Super Bowl winner back in the day, current head coach, Tampa Bay Strikers. And you're also, if that's not enough, you're also doing the Spanish broadcast as well for the NFL, for the Bucks.
Yes, I stay busy, but it's all fun stuff. You know, like my kids joke, man, you have like 7 jobs. I go, yeah, they'd be jobs if they were tough. You know,
right.
these are all fun things to do. So I enjoy every one of them.
Love what you do. You never work a day in your life. That's what
right.
they say, right? So tell us what's going on with the Bucks right now, man. It seems like, you know, you get your hopes up and then they lose, but then they have a last minute comeback again with Brady. What's going on inside the organization?
Well, we've had so many injuries, and I think that's one of the things that we just haven't been able to overcome. You know, the offensive line. We have one starter from last year playing right now, and he's probably the weakest lineman because Donovan Smith struggled, and even Coach Bowles said he's been struggling. He's had some good games, but he's struggled, and so that's definitely going to throw off the timing between the quarterback and the receiver. So, and then Chris Godwin being injured for a little bit, Mike Evans at times not practicing much, so that timing's going to hurt in the games. But but as long as you keep winning, that's the thing. As long as you figure out a way to win, like this past weekend, I think it's going to motivate and maybe turn around where the guys start believing. I mean, with 3 minutes left to come back and I think if we look back, the Saints pretty much lost the game more than we wanted. I think that run where Ingram gets out with 1 yard, to get that first down. He gets that first down and stays in bounds. The game might be over.
Right.
So they made a few mistakes too that helped us. But at the end of the day, we had to throw the touchdown pass. We had to overcome a penalty after throwing the touchdown pass.
Yep.
And they did that. So I'm liking.
That's right.
It's not where we wanted to be, but we're in a weak division, so we're going to get in the playoffs. And then with 12, anytime you get in the playoffs, you can be dangerous.
Yeah. TB12.
That's right.
TB12.
That's right.
So you're also head coach over at Tampa Bay Strikers. That's pretty cool. You're at the stage right now of tryouts and different things?
Yes, we're building 2 teams. This will be our inaugural season of the professional indoor league here in Tampa. So we have a men's team and a women's team. The women's team's looking pretty good. We have a good amount of players signed. On the men's side, we're still looking for a few more players, but it'll be the first year of having indoor soccer back in Tampa Bay. We're playing at the Yingling Center, USF.
Nice.
And the deal was, this is why I took the job, we're going to sign local talent. So this is a way to give back to the young kids that have played either college soccer in Tampa or youth soccer. Now they have an avenue to play a professional soccer. And we're not recruiting players from all over the world or offering all this kind of money or visas. There's teams that offer visas to bring guys from overseas.
Wow.
We're not doing any of that. These players all are usually from the Tampa Bay area, whether they've played college locally or youth soccer.
Wow. And what's that league? What's the name of the league there?
It's NISL, so the National Indoor Soccer League.
Okay.
So
and that's different from the guys in St. Pete then?
Right, yes. Yeah, the Rowdy said that's 11v11. That's outdoor soccer.
It's outdoor?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're just indoor soccer, which is basically for the casual fan.
Yep.
It's hockey soccer. It's going to be very high intensity, high action, a lot of scoring.
Yep.
We're going to play, like I said, in the basketball arena. Mainly, it usually is played in hockey rinks.
Wow.
So we're going to have the smallest venue as far as field size.
Yeah.
Because we're converting a basketball stadium, basketball court into the soccer field where some of our opponents are converting ice rinks into their field.
That'll be interesting to see, man.
Yeah, it'll be fun, man. I'm excited.
Football, I mean, it's similar. I mean, that's...
Yes, and you do your lines and your substitutions just like you do hockey. The guys sub on the fly and maybe play a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then they come out. So it's going to be a learning experience for everyone because it's indoor soccer is mainly played up north in the winter time because you can't be outside.
Right.
So now to bring it to Florida, we'll be excited just to compete with some of those teams from up north.
Yeah, that'll be fun to see, man. That'll be awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So lifeguard imaging, how's Frankie and the team doing over there?
Frankie's great. The team's great, and that's the one thing is that before I even was involved, it was like a family, and now that I'm part of it, I can see it. Everybody gets along, everybody works hard, and we try to make our patients feel comfortable and feel at ease because as you know, everyone that's scanning has a little bit of anxiety because nobody's ever done this. You
Right.
know, hospitals aren't doing full body scans.
Right.
They'll scan a body part if you have a symptom, but when you're coming in to get a full body scan, you're going to an unknown territory. Like,
Right.
you could feel great, you could look great, but you don't know what's going on inside. So that's why, you know, the office does a great job. Everybody, the staff, making everyone feel comfortable and welcome at our place.
Yeah, absolutely. I did, you know, firsthand experience here. I've gone in and done the scans. I actually did the colonoscopy as well, the virtual colonoscopy, and it was, you know, pleasurable experience. The staff is awesome. It was you know, really good experience. I love to see the results. It's like, oh, it's kind of like a sigh of relief there.
Peace of mind too.
Yeah.
Just don't schedule the virtual colonoscopy for the 5th of July.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, is that what I did? It was like the following Monday or something.
Yeah, so I remember you had to reschedule. Like, man, who doesn't need on 4th of July?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to cleanse during 4th of July.
Yeah, that was a tough one. But yeah, it was. So it's a great experience, folks. If you haven't done it or you're thinking about maybe doing it, reach out. There's a direct line that you can reach them over there at Lifeguard Imaging at 813-582-5222, 582-5222, and you get that free heart scan and get a calcium score from that.
Absolutely, and the calcium score will dictate if you need to follow up with a cardiologist or if you have the peace of mind. A 0 calcium score is the only perfect score. A 1 is considered heart disease, obviously not severe, but everybody starts at a 0.
Right.
So we just by scanning yearly, we know, okay, you let's say someone starts at a 5, the next year you're at 10.
Yep.
So now you know that you've got to do something. If not, that 10 will become 100 or 400, and then could get serious. So
Right.
that's why it's so important. The legacy program is great because we'll be able to see the progress in a positive way, or if you're not going the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good thing to do, man. And I love the stories. We just have a couple minutes left, but do you want to tell a story? I mean, cause you've told stories before where the husband comes in and he doesn't want to do it, and the wife makes him, or she, you know, and she ends up having the heart issue. Right.
Well, that's a perfect story. It's a really good friend of mine. I've coached their kid for almost 10 years now, soccer, so I've known them forever. And the husband wasn't feeling well. They come in and she's like, "No, I'm fine. I don't need to scan. I feel okay." He's the one with issues. So I basically forced both of them to scan. I said, "You're here. You're scanning."
Yeah.
His scan comes out fine. So his issues were something other than what we could find. And then with her scan, we find a high calcium score. So we say, look, go see we recommend that if it were one of our family, because we can't give you medical advice. We're not doctors, but we'll tell you, look, if it was my family member, which in this case is like family,
Yeah.
go see a cardiologist, go get this checked out. 2 weeks later, she had a stent put in that saved her life. She had 95% blockage in the LAD.
Wow.
And the craziest thing about the whole story, and I didn't find this out till later, she was being seen by a cardiologist that said, your heart's not the issue. She had minor symptoms, but the heart's not the issue because you walk 7 miles a day, you passed an EKG and a stress test. So they were going to start doing other testing to see why she had the symptoms. And luckily she came and got the scan because the EKG and the stress tests are good markers, but they're not looking inside.
Right.
So luckily she did. She came and now she's doing great, lost a ton of weight, eating better, exercising more. She's there for her kid. You know, we're traveling all over the state and out of state. They're going to North Carolina for a tournament today, and the mom will be there, you know, because, you know, she came to Lifeguard.
That's awesome, man. Good stuff. Keep up the good work over there. Say hello to the team.
I will.
And appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Randy.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right. Hey, another great show. I want to thank Martin Gramatica, attorney Anthony Rickman on the front end, and all of our producers, Jose, Alex, the whole team behind the scenes making us look good here on the show. Appreciate that. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another and be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.